One.
Right.
Go ahead.
Welcome to DWI Steelers edition. That's Dude. That's Wax. I'm Ellie. We are DWI fellas. End of the year wrap up. I hope y'all didn't think we was gonna leave y'all like that.
Tell him.
What
Right.
y'all think?
All in all, it was. I don't know. It wasn't a successful season to me. It was turmoil. It seemed like as far as
Really?
like the game planning and everything else. It was just up and down. It was a roller coaster.
Right.
I mean, it ended up better than I thought it was at the middle of the season, because at a certain point I'm like, I don't know if this offense is ever going to look like it's a normal offense, but they kind of cleaned that up a little bit, but it was too little too late.
Right.
Yeah, I think like at the beginning of the season, I was calling, like, I mean, we all were calling for them to get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? So I like expected us to be there. I didn't think we were going to get in depending on other teams like we usually do, but it was like what I expected. But all in all, it was like a mediocre season in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing to add on to it, Wax. I don't think that we more or less got into the playoffs just off the fact that they got into the playoffs. I know we willed that shit.
Yeah.
Us and pretty much everybody at home, especially a lot of our members at DWI, they were more or less pressed on us getting into the playoffs to the point where we're going to get in. There's not going to be no denying us. We started off rocky, like Dude said, and towards the middle of the season, everybody was speculating on what was going to happen as far as us moving forward.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this. From day one, when we played San Fran, it was a rough one. It was a doozy. Then when we go to Cleveland and we kick their ass, that gave optimism for me, because when we went to Cleveland and played them, I don't mean went to Cleveland, but when we played Cleveland,
Wait. Say it right. Say it right.
It was a game where we were supposed to lose. We were supposed to lose that game in the eyes of the NFL and everybody else that's not Steeler fans.
Right.
Just because of how they look on paper. They had every weapon sewed up. They had a defense and an offensive line that wouldn't quit. All the receivers on that team are A-plus receivers pretty much, and they were all healthy. I want to say Deshaun Watson played a decent game, but it wasn't the game of his life.
It was what happened in that game that that helped us was hurting Chubb, which sucks for Chubb. But like if Chubb doesn't get hurt that game, we might not win that one, because he was gashing us.
He was gashing us.
I was about to say, imagine their season with him there the whole season. Like
Right.
They started balling at the end, and imagine if they was handing the rock off to him.
Right.
Like they might have been something this year, but
It would have changed. It would have changed the NFL in the way that it looks right now. Because you ain't gonna tell me that they wouldn't be in the playoff spot right now. They would have beat somebody who's playing right now. Maybe Buffalo, you know what I mean, wouldn't have made it. Maybe whoever's in there right now wouldn't be there. Now I'm not saying Pat Mahomes. We've been talking about Pat Mahomes being who he was, and last game to me, he proved that he was the guy that he said he was. As far as, okay, I'm not going to have a tremendous game, but I'm getting my team to the next round of the playoffs.
Right.
Buffalo almost beat that ass.
it was back and forth.
If it wasn't for they lost because of coaching. Like coaching
Right.
kind of messed them up. Their coach did a couple of stupid things, like
Yeah.
And then they had that old boy fumble through the back of the end zone, and that hurt them too.
That was terrible, man. That right there, that sealed their fate. But
They talking about real quick though. They talking about changing that rule. What y'all think about that rule?
What did you change it to?
When you fumble it through the back.
Keep that. That's a hidden gem for a team. You know what I mean? It's part of the game. You're supposed to hold on to the rock.
That's how I feel.
I'm gonna ask, dude, what could you change it to? What could it be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
The last person that touches it before it goes out, is it in their possession, in their favor?
Right.
Because at that point, to some teams, it's a touchdown.
Right.
If you're in the right spot. So it's like,
I don't see how they can change it, but I seen a lot of people talking about that they're going to think about changing that rule. But like the way to me to solve it is to hold on to the rock, like Wax said, like hold on to the pill.
Right.
It's not hard to do,
especially in the red zone.
I
You know
didn't
what I
want
mean?
to. I didn't want to draw it off topic. I just wanted to express my sentiments
Right. It's all
on the
good.
boy Mahomes. As far as if we would have played them, that's why I didn't feel like if we would have got that first round pick, if we would have got that first round game, I felt like if we would have played them first, it would have been one and done. You know what I mean? Even though it would have been worse. The game would have been worse. They'd have beat the shit out of us, opposed to us losing the way we did.
Right.
Josh Allen played a fantastic game. I ain't taking nothing away from him, man. I spoke of him too. I said that he was an offensive weapon that you couldn't pretty much duplicate on any other team.
Right.
If we had a Josh Allen, it might change the outcome a lot on our game.
He's
You
like
have to
Big
hold him.
Ben with legs.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got to hold him accountable. Like you have to put somebody on him because he will scrape you for like a good 20, 25.
Wax, I'm spying him the whole game. I'm
Gotcha.
spying that brother the whole game. There's not going to be one play that I ain't going to have somebody on him. And that's going to hurt me because, like, I might need him to guard a receiver, that linebacker. I might, spy a free safety or a strong safety. I might need him to guard a receiver downfield to where that might come back to bite me in the ass. But there's no way I'm letting him just roam about without nobody, like, tailing that brother.
Right.
So it's like from that Cleveland game, dude made a great point. If Nick Chubb never gets hurt, that game might not have been ours. So we would have went 0-2. But it didn't happen that way. We ended up beating them 26-22. Then we play Las Vegas. After we beat Vegas, I knew it. I'm like, fuck that. We're 2-1. Listen, we're knocking on the door. Somebody open this bitch so we can come in and get a drink and go back out there and start kicking more ass. But we went and had Houston play us like that cousin from out of town that everybody keeps telling you about. Yeah, man, when my cousin, I remember, man.
They dogged us.
There was a time back in the day, man, where we couldn't wait till that out-of-town cousin came down here because that out-of-town cousin came with that shit. He had an accent. The motherfucker knew how to rumble. And for some strange reason, he always had like over $100 in his pocket. And y'all were a year apart. Like, how the fuck do you always have money? But that's how it felt when we played Houston. That out-of-town cousin that everybody's been telling you about all summer. Yeah, you keep talking shit, I'm going to have my cousin come down here and beat your ass. That's what they did. So then that brought back the pessimistic thinking. Like, maybe we ain't as good as we thought we was.
Right. But at the time, like, you was thinking because it was like CJ Stroud was a rookie. They had a first-year head coach. It was like you thought you should have beat them, but they ended up proving that they were a formidable opponent.
Right.
I mean, they ended up proving the fact that they were something to deal with, and they're going to be something to deal with for the future. CJ Stroud he's going to be that guy in a little bit.
If you say his name one more time, he's going to pop up on the show, man, and I don't like that brother, man. I'm a hater when it comes to him.
He's not.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a reference from the movie Life. Don't even say Shroud. Say beer. Say little beer or something like that. Don't even say his initials. Matter of fact, we're gonna call him Abomination because we're gonna call him by his initials. CJ, man. And let me quit being a hater, man. But I can't help it because like that brother is one of them ones that sliced and diced us out here. So like shout out to CJ, man, for having a fantastic season as a rookie.
Yeah, probably offensive rookie of the year.
You think, Wax?
Maybe. I mean, he's in contention, I would say. I don't know for a fact, but
he would get my vote. He would
get
my vote.
He did his damn thing. Fuck that. I'm gonna be hating. Just like I hated on Kobe. And let me be remiss to say this. I'm only hating on him because of his greatness. I'm not hating on him like I'm just a pure hater, like, man, fuck that cat over there. Nah. I'm hating on him because I know what his potential level is. And it's like, if he's against you, there's going to be some problems. Pack a lunch, Wax.
Mm-hmm.
So we play them. We're now 2-2. We got that first loss of the season haunting us. And then we got this one weighing on us. We're at this point, we're in the middle of the road. Who's our next game? Lamar Jackson and company. And like I said before, hello? Yeah, we got his number.
Right.
We beat that ass. So now we're 3-2. So now I'm back to feeling myself again. You can tell I ain't from around here. From the way I walk, goddammit.
Yeah. For some odd reason, they played down And I mean, it's apparent now because they're in the AFC Championship, so
Right.
they played our game, which helped us a lot. Like I
Right.
don't know how we managed to like keep it a close game and then take over in the fourth, but we did, and
Wheeling,
that yeah, you know what I mean. That got me like excited for the season after seeing that.
Right.
wheeling to me, and when I say wheeling, it's a step down from praying. If there's praying, Lord, please help me do good at my job. Lord, please don't let me snap out and leave my wife and children. That's a prayer. When you wheel something, Wax, and I know you know it,
I,
it's from the pit of your soul, man. We're all sitting down with our towels and shit watching. We're wheeling it. We're right there with them guys. We're right there, dude. We're like, man, we need to. And then by gosh, I'll be damned if they ain't listening because we seen that game come together like butt cheeks. That motherfucking shit came exactly the way we were supposed to win that game, which puts us back over the hump. Then we play the LA Rams, Super Bowl champs 2 years ago. Was it 2 or 3? 2 years ago?
2 years, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that.
Okay, no, it was 3 years ago. My bad, because you had Philly and Kansas City.
Yeah.
So it was 3 years ago. But then we played the 3 years ago champs. But then they're getting Cooper Cup back. Everybody's, working out the kinks. We end up beating them
Right.
back to having a winning record. So, as far as that was concerned, I was back on my high horse again. But then
I don't know if Stafford played. Did Stafford play that game?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't think he did. But either way.
I wasn't really worried about Stafford, even though I know his potential as a quarterback.
Right.
He wasn't the one I was afraid of. It was on the defensive side. I didn't think that, we was going to be able to move that ball the way we was supposed to move it because of that juggernaut that's on the defensive line.
Right.
He's the one that, I'm the nigga y'all need to be worried about. He's the one that y'all need to be worried about. So we go down to, I keep saying go down. We play a team by the name of Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. That motherfucker looked like he just came off the damn beach riding riding the waves and shit, riding the gnarly wave. Big fella came through.
Trubisky played that game.
Yeah.
So we might have did better if he didn't play.
Explaining what Trevor did to us, dude. They put up 20 points on us, man.
They did, but like we only put up 10. So like 20 is not an insurmountable amount of points. It's just Trubisky couldn't do shit. He's trash. I'm gonna use every chance I get to shit on Mitch Trubisky. So he's terrible and he didn't help at all in that game.
All right, now when you're down and getting groceries at one of them damn them grocery outlets and you see a 6'4" guy bagging your groceries,
double bag it. I want double bagged.
Triple bag it. It's a can of sardines, sir. I don't care. Triple bag it now.
Or mark it out for my car. I'm making him take it out there. Like, screw it.
And then for those moments, only when I go to that store, I'm gonna carry one of those little coin pouches and shit. Pop that motherfucker open and hand him a nickel. And then when he looks at me, I'm gonna take the nickel back and then give him 3 cents and then tell him to beat it before I take that back and give you nothing. So, like that was okay. Let me ask you this, dude. Being that you said that, is it a personal vendetta you got against Mitch? Do you know Mitch personally to feel this way about him?
It's a personal offense to me that he was even out there in the first place.
Do you feel it was an oversight for him getting to the NFL? Do you feel like somebody wasn't on their job, like they missed the
No, because it's a crapshoot on that in general. So if you get to the NFL, you just do. But like once you get there and it's established that you're trash, you shouldn't get extra chances to be trash. Not on my team. Give him a chance somewhere else, but not in that black and gold. After I already know you're terrible, like you can hit the bricks.
And here's the thing: the fans they let him know how they felt about it.
They definitely did.
Every chance they got. At soccer games, bar mitzvahs. I told you I was in a crap game in the back of Rachi and a couple people was chanting, get rid of it. They listen.
Well, we lost Ellie for a couple seconds, but
there you go.
All right. I'm a just leave. I'm gonna leave, and you come back, or you leave and then come back in. But
Yeah. So where were we with the
we were
talking about the Rams?
Jackson. No, we were talking
Uh,
about Jacksonville beating
yeah,
up.
we lost 20-10 with Jacksonville.
Yeah, and then like I said, Trubisky stunk it up right there. But the defense kind of stunk too in that game. But the
Yeah,
next game was
the
Tennessee.
Titans. Yeah,
We ended up beating them.
which was a good feel, man. It brought back a little bit of the morale and everything.
Right.
The team spirit. Like we beat them 20-16.
Right.
Which it was a close game. I think I forget how it all unraveled, but like I know like it was a close game the whole game.
Right. I'm trying to look up the box. If I can find it here. But yeah. But yeah, either way. Because my phone's acting silly.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. They went up 13-10 in the second half.
Okay.
Second quarter. We third quarter we both kicked field goals, and the fourth quarter we score, so that put us up by 4, and then like we just shut the game down.
What game y'all talking about?
We just got done talking about that Tennessee game.
Oh man, that was a good game. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that game.
We held Derrick Henry to 75 yards. He did score though, but 17 carries, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's a win in my opinion. Like,
I mean, here's the thing: it's like trying to stop the sun, trying to stop the sun from shining.
Right.
It's impossible. I don't give a shit if you shoot rockets at the sun.
Right.
You're not stopping Derrick Henry. You can only hope to contain him. He's just one of those type of players. He's more of a Bo Jackson player than he is, a Rudy Poop.
Yeah.
He got wheels and he got power.
Right.
He's a tough individual.
Right.
But like we follow that up with another win against Green Bay.
But let me get back to that Tennessee game with Henry. I feel like Tennessee's a one-trick pony, fellas. I truly do.
Well, yeah, they're on the down. They're on the decline now because they're getting ready to get rid of Derrick Henry this year. They've just fired their coach, so they're going to be on the bottom of the barrel coming up here in a little bit, probably.
Okay, curveball, Wax. Would you pick him up?
Would I? I mean, truth be told, I would definitely take him, but he's not going to be in the league that long because, like,
you got like 3 years, 4 max.
Like,
he's already 30. He probably got 2 years.
Yeah.
He's probably already on the decline,
right?
Because running backs just don't last that long.
Mm-mm.
But
so what about?
I would.
Who do you get rid of?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because Najee's still young. Mm-hmm. You still got some years with Najee, and you got to pay Derrick Henry some decent money. So maybe not.
Right.
If I have another team and didn't have a running back, then yeah, I definitely would try to pick him up. If I had a team that was a running back away, but a good offensive line, because I don't care. Even if you got Derrick Henry at our offensive line,
he might get hurt fucking around with our line. Like,
and that's how I felt the whole game, y'all. The whole season. It was a subpar line. Like, if I was to grade the line, it wouldn't be good. Speaking of which, we'll get back to that in a minute. But go ahead, Wax, with the Green Bay.
Oh, no. I was just saying we followed the Titans win up with a Green Bay win with a new quarterback, Love, and he was trying to do his damn thing, but we just kept stopping that shit. Like, it went down to the wire, kind of. I want to say, like, they had the last drive, and we shut that shit down.
Right.
Because they were driving the score.
We kicked that field goal and went up by a touchdown. Or went up by 4 points at that time.
You guys got to remember that at this point, it was a defensive battle with us. Like, our defense was coming through a lot. It wasn't the quarterback. It was a defensive battle back there, as far as the defense not wanting to take this loss, period.
Yeah, you're right, because we had 2 picks that game. He threw 2 picks.
Well, 126 yards passing. Go Kenny.
That's what we finished with. They had 289 though. Like,
right. No, they proved themselves to be a pretty decent team. They made the playoffs too. So that was another playoff team that we beat this year.
Right.
That's when Jay Warren went. He was rambling, bambling. Like he had a buck. He had 101, I think.
Right. But you got to remember this. You got to remember this. Even with all of that, like, you know, our opposition, they totally rushed us, outpassed us. But that was the defense not wanting to accept defeat. So it's not one of those games we can give full credit to the offense or any credit at that point. Now, Jaylen Warren, he definitely surprised me this year, dude. That little motherfucker, man, he earned his keep. I'm glad Wax brought that up. That 101 yards for a running back of his stature with a line that doesn't block every play.
Right.
You know how hard that shit is to do?
Right.
So it's one of those things to where it's like, damn, how the fuck did this kid manage to get that type of yards with all the odds against him?
Because he runs super hard, man. Like he runs hard as hell.
Right.
That's his biggest attribute. He runs like it's going to be his last run. He got to hold on to the ball a little bit more because he had a few fumbles this year that was costly.
Well, they costed him a lot of game time, a lot of.
They did because after that, Tomlin was like, "Nah, bruh."
He was like, "You listen, either popcorn or football. Pick.
You can't do both."
Those are close.
I love popcorn.
He's I love it. I can't help it. He's like Vinny off The Longest Yard. I was eating popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
No bullshit, man.
But
and like,
I was about to say, but then after that, you know, we moved forward. We lost to Cleveland.
Say it right. Say it right.
Get his ass waxed.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Take that fucking B out of there. That shit don't belong in there.
We lost to them.
And how do you think we did that? How do you think we did that? Because we beat them the first time. And there was no Nick. How do you think we lose to a team that we beat when they had all the components the first time?
Their defense shut us down. We couldn't get nothing going.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get nothing going. And that was the game right after that when they fired Matt Canada. This was Matt Canada's last game.
Yeah. Plus, they didn't have Watson either. They didn't. Watson wasn't the starting quarterback. I think he got injured too, like before all of this.
So they were down a quarterback and their best rusher. Shit, if you want to be technical, the NFL's best rusher. Nick Chubb is one of the only cats I know that is as old as he is, and he's still a problem. He's no spring chicken, dude.
Right.
He's no spring chicken, but that boy runs like this is his first fucking year. Every time he touches that ball, I'm like, holy shit, that kid can run.
Yeah, we couldn't move the ball.
Okay, so what explains that bullshit when we played Arizona then?
Even though Jaylen Warren did have 129 yards rushing.
Rambling off of 9 carries. He was rolling that game.
That's when you know you got a running back.
Right.
9 carries, Wax. 9 fucking carries.
Right.
Okay, break it down then.
That's over 10 yards a carry.
How many?
Over 10 yards.
So basically, I'm getting 10 yards a scrape on you busters. But it was in a losing effort.
Right.
So that's the part that kills me.
Yeah, he had that 74-yard run, which 74 yards on a run is that's some shit.
Yeah.
It is, especially without no blocking.
Right.
You know, and then like after you get past the first 10, 15 yards, you're on your own. That means we cannot travel with you as far as the line's concerned.
It's a track meet. It's a track meet after that.
Correct.
Am I faster than you, or you faster than me? Are you going to will it to come catch me, or you just going to give up?
Right.
And let me get this TD.
Right. So
he couldn't catch his ass because he took off on him. He definitely scampered.
We took the loss. Go ahead, Wax. My bad.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say after that game, though, is just like
it was Cincy.
It was Cincy. Huh?
It was Cincy. And they had a backup quarterback. Joe Burrow wasn't in there.
Right. And this was like I said, this was the first game that Matt Canada didn't call. And we actually I remember our offense actually looked pretty good, even though we only scored 16. Mm-hmm. Kenny finally put up 278. We finally got over 300 yards for the first time in 2 years.
Which is crazy.
Losing, we beat them. We beat Cincy.
Yeah,
we beat
Cincy. Yeah,
but it was like a low scoring game.
I'm thinking about that next game.
Those next 3.
Yeah.
No, the next game is specific because them dudes was terrible.
Arizona. Yeah.
New England and the Patriots, to be honest, if you want to be honest.
I mean, we didn't even get there yet, fellas. I just want to relish in this fucking 2-9 loss because there's no way we was rid of Canada. Everything was clicking.
Who started that game?
Mitch. Yeah.
There you go. Who started those last 3 losses?
I get you. So
Mitchell.
It's just like, damn, man, we got this bum again. Every time he shows up on Sunday, and we knew the odds were stacked against us, and they weren't in our favor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things to where I was totally pissed off, just for the simple fact that I knew we had a bum out there, and I was more or less like trying to give him some, like a little bit of faith. I have some faith in him.
Right. Because at that time, we didn't know Mason Rudolph, was worth a damn from his past years. So it was like Mitch is the only guy we got, and then it was just like we didn't know what Mason brought to the table.
We wouldn't even think about putting Mason in.
I was a little bit towards that third one. I'm like, look, just put him in because he can't be any worse than this.
Can't be worse than this.
Right.
It was like we put him in because we ain't have nobody else. Like we had to play him, kind of like it was either lose with dude's fucking sworn enemy or try to do something, try to stimulate something with Mason. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, Wax, like dude was telling me something. He was telling me some shit that like if like the shit off of the other guys, if he was stranded on an island and he was a lion walking about, he would go outside of his food chain just to eat. Mitch is a tuna, man. That's how bad he is, that brother, man.
He's just bad.
He is. He's bad for any team he goes to, and it's like I hate stopping people from getting paper, man. On it, this ain't the show for that, but at the same time, it's the show to where real recognizes real, and that's just the way that it is.
Right.
And okay, fellas, if you guys had an extra set of hands, would it be fair to say that he'd have pretty much 12 thumbs down?
I have all 4 hands like this, like all 4.
Yeah. So they'd be like 2, 4. Wait a minute, there's 12 hands up there. Like that brother gets 12 thumbs down.
Like if I was Goro,
right?
In half and shit.
You like if you were stranded on an abandoned island and found a lamp, one of the wishes would be Goro, just so you could take a picture.
Right.
You waste a wish on that shit.
Just so I can give him an extra set of thumbs.
We be like, what the hell is happening to dude? He be getting all big and shit, growing extra arms. Like, oh shit, this nigga's going ham. That's his first wish. He'd be like, but they'd have a camera crew out there. We're live. You know what I mean? They probably and give him 4. That's hilarious, bro. I just wanted to dive in on, on the disappointment that Mitch has caused us.
Right. So
for those 3 games. So fast forward.
Yeah.
New England. Do you think that was Bill Belichick?
That's part of the 3 games. The 3 games slide we went on.
Was
Do
Mitch.
You think it was Bill Belichick?
I blame Mitch.
I mean, but here's the thing.
All of my problems in my personal life, I blame Mitch too. It's like, nah. But I mean, like it was a little bit of Belichick because Belichick, he is a smart dude. He knows how to game plan. You know what I mean? So,
and Belichick is a cheater.
He's a cheater.
He knows how to cheat well too.
On his way out, he definitely was like, "And you can kiss my ass," because like before he left the building, he was like, "I want to make sure I sock it to them motherfuckers down in Pittsburgh."
Yeah.
So, like, that was like his request for his last meal and shit. Like, I'm not hungry. Like, my appetite is gone, but I just want to,
Just bring me Pittsburgh. There's blood in the water over there.
Right. And he smelled it, bruh. He knew it. He was like, if they can beat him, I'm Billy B.
Right.
What you think I'm gonna do to him?
Yeah, because we like not only lost on the field, we got out coached too. So
And we lose by a field goal.
Right.
That made it even worse.
mm-hmm.
You know, when I know I can win a game and I end up losing by a small margin, I'd rather you have like beat me by 25, 30 points. Because at that point, I got to go home and replan.
Right.
If you beat me by a small margin, that means the plan that I had just didn't work.
Oh shit!
All right. Well, let's move on to that Indianapolis Colts game where we got our asses beat pretty good.
In Indianapolis.
Yep. And that one, what, Gardner Minshew was he the quarterback? Yeah, Gardner Minshew diced us up.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. He threw three of them boys.
Mitch threw 2 picks, and then
Yeah.
at the end of that game, pretty much when it was already over, that's when they threw. That's when they put Mason in there in the last couple of drives, and he, you couldn't really do nothing
at all. Mitch had 169 yards that like the whole time he played. That's ass. That is ass.
Super trash.
Yeah.
But then move forward to that Cincy game where Mason's first game playing, and he played good as hell.
Yeah, we balled out.
Yeah, 290 yards passing. Beat their ass too. 34-11.
Yeah, that was the most we scored this year.
Yeah, it was. Most we scored probably in a couple years.
Yeah.
And then we hit, right after that was the Seattle game. Mason played good. We had 30 on that one. Which was a hard game because you got to go to the West Coast.
Right.
There, you know what I mean? And play there.
Even though it was his last season as the head coach, Pete Carroll ain't no joke. I mean, like his team kind of stunk this year, but it's still the same coach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In their house, so.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll doesn't scare me, Wax.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good coach, though. Well, he used to be, but, he still has all those plays that generate wins. Not this year so much. But, yeah, I mean.
What about what he did in that Super Bowl?
Bad call.
It was a bad call.
It was the worst call in NFL history, if you ask me, but he had them boys there, though.
He did have them there. He had them there a couple years.
Back to back.
Granted, he's a good coach, but we beat that ass. Like, I had to take my dog out. That was my bad, but I heard you on the background, and I'm thinking to myself, like, Pete Carroll, fuck him. I don't respect Pete. I don't respect the man who passes it on the 1 yard line when you got a running back like the Beast.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was the worst call in NFL history. But I rock with Pete Carroll. Like whenever I seen he wasn't going to turn over on Reggie Bush.
Wax,
you know what I mean?
He had a all-star team that year.
That broke up the team.
Yeah.
After he did that, he lost his whole team. He lost the team after that.
Bruh, do you remember that secondary back there?
Yeah, the Legion of Boom. They was out there knocking shit out, man. But like dude's right though, because like I heard Marshawn Lynch say he was trying to get Russell Wilson the MVP for the Super Bowl, so he tried to like hurry up and pad his stats with like a touchdown pass when they should have just handed the ball. You got one of the hardest running backs in the league, and you're gonna try to throw it against the Patriots.
Not to mention, he had like over 200, damn near 200 yards rushing. If it wasn't over 2, like he had a phenomenal game that game.
I'm not sure how many he had, but he was
It was in the 100.
It was definitely over $1.
Yeah, but that was dumb. That was the dumbest call in history.
When that happened, that was the moment that I knew he was a numbnuts. I didn't respect that man no more from that. So like, I feel you. I'm taking away from him. Fuck that. Wax, you gonna give him respect because you know the game, just like I do. But on the flip side of that coin, fuck him. And we proved it. We beat the motherfuckers damn near by a teddy. So it was one of those games to where like I was nervous a bit, but I wasn't scared.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we was in their house too. That always like that 12th man shit is for real. Like that's not just like hearsay.
But
That shit is for real.
Steeler fans, because Steeler fans, we take over every stadium.
Yeah.
We showed up. We show up around the damn world, man. Like Steeler fans are everywhere, and I don't even think there's a lot of people traveling to these places. I think it's people that live in them places that's like,
you better believe it.
Steelers is coming to town. We getting tickets.
You better believe it.
It's like we're a good product because we sell ourselves.
Right.
You know, you don't ever have to go extra, read all about it. I got this hot pepperoni pizza that's delicious. Hell no. People know where that shit's at. They know where the good work's at, and it's in Pittsburgh.
Right.
You want to get a good game. You want to get your money's worth. Catch us when we got that when we're on the road. Catch us when we got our fucking ducks in a row. We got our team synchronized to our coach.
Right.
There's nothing like it, dude.
Right.
But yeah, man, I lost all respect for Pete Carroll, so I definitely wasn't feeling that dude.
Back to those last two games. Those were the first two games where we actually looked like a decent offense.
Right.
Well, in a couple of years. So shout out to the new coordinators and Mason Rudolph for, pulling that out
in the season.
Then we go they pretty much did save the season. Then we go to Baltimore and play in that monsoon.
Yeah.
And pull it out.
That was an ugly win.
It was.
I mean, we won by a tutty, but that was an ugly win, y'all.
Yeah.
It was. And like, they didn't play, a couple of their starters, but all in all, they only didn't play like three players didn't play.
Right. Their whole interior defense was out there.
Yeah. Right. They had Queen out there. I think one of the other guys was just hurt. That was a starter.
They had Jadeveon Clowney out there.
Right.
His presence was felt.
And we ended up pulling it out. So, that was a tough game. But that was the season. That was the regular season. And then on the playoff game, and we already talked about that last week. It was disappointing in a few different ways, but I'm glad they fought back a little bit and tried. They didn't just give up. So I give them credit for that.
Yeah. And we played in Buffalo during that damn shitty ass snow bowl, if you want to call it that. But we just we got our pants pulled down and spanked in front of the world.
Right.
And that was a tough one. I mean, plus like the Bills were just starting to heat up, and they're in playoff mode. They get that nice little playoff push. You know what I mean? That was a tough one.
Right.
I still feel gypped a bit because we didn't have, our defensive specialists out there, man.
Facts.
So he takes a lot of heat for the defense.
Right.
He takes a lot of fucking heat. And it's like this. I feel like this. If we'd have had him out there, Mr. Watt, wouldn't have been all that scrambling and gambling. He'd have knocked some sense into that boy's head.
Maybe.
You're not going to run on me. You're just not. You better pass it.
But he was doing that too. I think we were towards the end of the season, like we had lost so much in the middle of the field that we were just exposed. Like we had Miles Jack, we pulled him off the couch and he was out there just getting toasted. He just couldn't keep up with it. Landon Roberts was still nursing that injury, so he couldn't really be his full self. I think
right.
Cam Newton pretty much played hurt the whole year.
Right.
Shout out to Cam for being a soldier.
Right.
Being one of those Steelers stalwarts that, you can always rely on. He's getting a little older in the tooth.
Right. Shout out, big
You mean Cam Hayward?
Yeah, what did I say?
Cam Newton.
Oh, my bad. Cam Hayward.
You got Cam down there like, man, I knew these outfits made it. Man, got the fuck him, man. These outfits got me my notoriety. Nah.
You said that because we're about to pick him up this year. I'm trying to wheel and deal that shit.
Yeah,
even though he's going to be on the bench dressing up for nothing, but
he's going to be in those outfits he does his podcast in on that.
Right. bow ties and weird ass hats.
Right. He gonna have an extra tall helmet. Like,
Right.
how did you find that helmet? Like,
He's gonna have a feather coming out his helmet. Right.
That helmet's gonna be like built. It's gonna be built like Pharrell's had on that Happy video. That motherfucker's gonna have a Mountie hat on and shit. But it's gonna be a helmet. Wow for that. Louis. He said he's gonna have an extra fucking tall helmet. But nah, man, I can't agree, man. You know what I mean?
I don't need you to agree. I'm trying to wield this myself. Like just to say we did it. Like I said, he's gonna be on the bench, but you know.
He's done. He's moved on. He's like Andre. He's the Andre 3000 of football. He's moved on, man. He's creating flute albums now. That motherfucker does not want.
Y'all wouldn't take him if he took the minimum to play with Pittsburgh. Y'all wouldn't be happy with that.
Why would I want? I mean,
I wouldn't be mad at it, but like I wouldn't be excited. I'd
be ecstatic. I don't know. I just fuck with Cam. I don't know.
I do too. He's dope, man. But like, I don't want. That's like being at a pool party. All right. I'm saying everything's, you know what I mean? It's 98 degrees outside, grills going on, everything's good to go. And then you sitting back like, man, I can't wait till winter happens.
Listen, I would take him over Russell Wilson.
I would too, but like I don't want him neither.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Russ is still active. That little motherfucker, despite the fact that he's stinking it up out there in Denver, that motherfucker's still out there moving and or grooving.
Well, he's not grooving. He's not grooving. He's out there moving, but he ain't grooving. He's out there getting his damn manhood took by his coach on the sideline.
But
he's not grooving.
Here's the deal. I would rather have that because he is still an active player than to have Cam Newton out there dressed like it's the fucking Battle of Gettysburg in a uniform. That motherfucker's gonna have a pair of knickerbockers on. All tall and shit back there like, shit, Blue 32. Revolution is like, no.
Come on, bring him the birds. Bring him to the birds.
I don't need the Prince and Andre 3000 of football, even though both of them cats is high up in my catalog as far as music. They was just wild as hell when it came to dressing.
Okay, so branching off of that, our quarterback for next season, what y'all think the plan should be for our QB next season, other than the Cam Newton, which I probably won't happen, and Russell Wilson could be a possibility because he's a free agent probably. But what's you guys' plan? What you think we should do for a quarterback?
I think we should draft for one.
Right.
Use our first pick. Get a steal if we can. I mean, I doubt we're gonna get a steal, but you know, we need some backup. We definitely need some backup.
Do you try and re-sign Mason Rudolph?
I mean, I think he deserves it, I guess, but like I wouldn't. Like he just didn't do enough for me. Like in the years he's been here to, you know, I mean, kudos to him. I was happy he was winning a couple of ball games and you know his stock went up. But I mean, he's been here for what? How many years? 5 years?
Yep,
something like that. Yeah,
and hasn't produced much. I mean, like he's not a guy that you give the ball to and say, go win this shit. Like, because he's not going to deliver.
True. What you think, Lee?
Well, Wax, to add on what you were saying, it takes too much for him to deliver it. I'm like, damn, like you should have had this shit done an hour ago. Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna start this off, dude, by saying shout out to the boy Mason, man. You know, he held us down, but like Wax was saying, man, I totally agree, my brother.
Too little, too late.
Yes, because it's like you picked like the last couple of, well, not you picked, but like he got in the last couple of games, and then like let's be honest, that Baltimore team wasn't a fully active Baltimore team.
Right.
You get that fully active Baltimore team with the same Mason Rudolph, we might not be sitting here saying that shit at all.
Right.
But it didn't happen that way. They opted to sit their starters. Okay, that benefits us because at this point we're gonna take that damn shit and benefit from it like we did. But I feel like we do need to draft only for the simple fact that like Mitch is what Mitch is gonna be. He
Oh,
has,
wow.
huh?
I said a bum. I'm sorry. I didn't
Not
mean to
Mitch.
interrupt.
I meant Kenny. I meant Kenny Pickett. Kenny
Oh,
Pickett. So you get rid of Mitch. So now you got 2 spots left. You either draft or you get a seasoned quarterback. And the only reason why I said seasoned is because it seems like some of these cats coming out of college, man, they ain't built like they should be built, man. Like a couple teams we played, you know what I mean, earlier in the season, Michigan, I'm speaking of, that was like pretty dope, but their quarterback held him down, but he was accident prone. He was always getting hurt. Let's take that last game with Washington. Their quarterback was just coming back off of an injury.
Who's that? Penix?
Yeah, he's dope.
I've been hearing that they people are saying Steelers might go for Penix.
I hope not, because like we're gonna be back in this position, dude.
Right.
If you getting hurt in college, when you got certain players that are just standout athletes, so that means that like if you got the best college lineman, chances are you're gonna have time back there in that pocket, unless you're a scrambler. And
Right.
if you take it upon yourself to get out of that pocket, you're on your own. So I say all that to say this: if we get him and he comes up a peg to the NFL, they're not doing all that shit because you got the best 11 out there. So that means that guy that was on your team, if you're the best and he's the best lineman, the opposite team across from you has every player that's just like you are,
Right.
if not better. So college, you can get away with some of that shit. That's how you can pad your stats and go through that changes because all the guys that are out there, they ain't the greatest in their position. But you got the NFL where everybody's fucking dope. And you try that sliding and shit out the pocket, you gonna run into a man named Watts. You gonna run right into his fucking arms and get your back broke. And that's just how that shit happens. He's gonna come off the edge real clean, real close, and pop your helmet off. And then what's that do for us, Wax? It makes us have to fucking rely on a fucking third string quarterback like we did.
right.
So,
I disagree a little bit. I mean, even though he wouldn't start initially, if we got him, we might be able to turn him into something because he's already like dope. He's dope. Like he's a college quarterback. Like, in the future, he might be something, man. Like
but
I wouldn't put all my eggs in the basket for him, but he can help out a little bit.
All right, let me give you all a list of the free agent quarterbacks that's gonna be available. Right.
all right.
None of them are great. So we're gonna be stuck with either Mason, Kenny, or one of these guys, in my opinion, or if they draft one, but then that's taken away from something else you might need to draft. But Daniel Jones from the Giants, Jimmy Garoppolo, who's not that good, Geno Smith, Derek Carr, and Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz. That's pretty much it.
I heard
all right. I mean, like he has a little bit more experience in the playoffs, but like Carson Wentz,
right?
But
if any of them, I would go for Baker Mayfield.
Okay, Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith.
Right.
Now listen, I need to ask you this, dude. You get either one of those on our team as the way that it sits right now. How much time are they going to have back there in their pocket?
Not long. Not unless they fix up the O-line a little bit more and get a couple more free agents, but or draft another one at the beginning and then draft.
With that being said, all of those guys are either close to 30, they're 30 already, or they're over 30. You get one of those nice clean hits in that pocket from one of those fucking old ass fucking reserved fucking free agents that we got. And when I say reserved, I mean it, Wax. That ball ain't been open since 97.
Right.
That ball is reserved.
Right.
What's up, Kel? Shout out to Kelly Gossett.
What up, Kel?
She was saying that Mason wasn't it,
Yeah, she said he ain't it.
and
Yeah,
she's
she
right.
ain't lying. She ain't lying.
He's not it, but he's all you got. He's all we got. Well,
We
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
hear that
We'll
shit.
see. We'll see about Pickett this year. I do want to see Pickett with a decent offensive coordinator and a decent game planner. You know what I
Hey,
mean? So,
you know, I didn't mean to cut you off. You know who I kind of blame for our quarterback situation? I mean, besides old boy dying, because you can't blame God for that, but like, you know, I kind of blame Big Ben.
What for Mason being stinky,
Like for not him for not like taking him under his wing. Like there seemed to be like a little bit of static there, kind of like he wasn't trying to help him out. Like, and then you know whatever he, I don't know. I just feel like Big Ben was pouting and was like, you know, I don't want this dude to be
right.
my backup. Like, you know what I
Facts.
mean?
You hit it right on the fucking head. Bing! Good shit, bruh. You brought up the best point ever. And here's how I feel about it. To add on to it, bro, you're snapping, bro. You coming through with some solids, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's where it was at. He did do that. It's like, what? You know, he was trying to look over Ben's shoulder. Ben's like, what? Man, go back up, man. All right, now, what was y'all saying? Like, he was a sucky mentor, man.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Big Ben for holding us down all those seasons. I ain't gonna piss on you, bruh.
Right.
Yeah, he could have molded Mason to be like when I leave this team, I'm passing it over to you.
Right.
Man, that brother took the big brother approach. Like, man, I don't know what you're gonna do when I leave, but I'm taking the TV and the little refrigerator that mommy bought. Like, she bought that for us both. Like,
But what people don't realize either though is like whenever they drafted Mason Rudolph, the Steelers didn't have a quarterback coach. We didn't get a quarterback coach till like 2 or 3 years after they drafted him. So he had nobody. They kind of set him up for failure because he had no quarterback coach at all for the first 2 or 3 years of his career. And Ben wasn't helping him.
That's crazy.
Like his development never really got to where it needed to be. So,
see, but how much do you take? This is accountability. How much do you blame Big Ben? Like, I can't play for him. Like, I'm standing in as Big Ben. I'm his inner being right now. I can't play for the brother. Like, he has to take accountability to play for himself. I can show, and who's to say if he didn't? But I'm catching the same vibe that you did, Wax. Like,
yeah, I am too.
Know.
But it's human nature though, because just imagine: have you ever had a job where they try to make you train somebody that you know is getting ready to replace you? I'm teaching them all the bad shit. I'm like, you know what I mean? I ain't teaching him the right way to do it. I'm teaching him to kind of fuck shit up.
You go in there, man. Yeah, this is where they all smoke weed at.
Right.
This is where cocktail hour is. And like over there, we just all piss in the corner.
He was showing them like all the secret spots to sleep and do all the like. This is how you beat the register. Like, you know what I mean? Showing him all this different shit, like the bad shit. Like, you know what I mean?
And then every
I
morning,
leave,
we flip off the camera.
Right. So after I'm gone, y'all gonna feel me. Y'all gonna understand. Like, damn, we should have kept that dude.
But that's, I mean, and in his situation, no, because like at this point, I'm retiring. I'm not leaving for a better job. I'm not going to Miami to, you know what I mean?
It was definitely a selfish move.
Yeah.
It was too selfish, man.
Ben was always a kind of a selfish dude. He seemed like a dude.
We basically had to push him out, like, because you know what I mean, because he wasn't trying to take a seat, like.
Because that last game when he was in Cleveland, that brother didn't even walk around. You know they do that victory lap. That boy was like, "I'm done. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll be at the Waffle House or 54th Street."
Yeah, they held on to him too long, but you know that's what Steelers do with the loyalty thing, and you don't want to get rid of. I mean, he's a fan favorite, so they're like. But at some point, it's a business. The business got to take over the loyalty sometimes, and they kind of let their loyalty lead the way a little bit more than they should sometimes. Yeah. It's a good thing in some ways, but in some ways it's like you're holding us back from progressing because you can't just progress with the same old people. You got to get younger and better.
Shit, Ben was on the verge of being a peepaw. He's like, man, I'm gonna be a peepaw next week. I'm ready to go home now. Like
Right.
And here's the thing. Tom Brady got a divorce because he was so passionate about football. Like, listen, I know you're fine as wine and you don't need nothing I got, but I'm gonna play this last season.
Right.
Draw. Giselle was like, okay. I mean, like, I don't think I could have did that. I'd have been like, shit, man, y'all might have to go ahead and look. I got you
I
a
think
check.
there was more problems than that, though. You know what I mean? Because
Could have
like
been.
if you're willing to divorce me for playing the shit that made me famous and rich, like
And
you know what I mean?
But
I'm
you
the
gotta
best player that
understand.
ever played. Like, come on, you
This,
got to
Right.
give me that grace.
Exactly.
This is coming from a supermodel who, like, I never needed you, Tom. And who's to say that Tom wasn't stinking up the bed? Like, he could have turned into a different Tom Brady. Tom could have been shitting and leaving a damn shit in the toilet and shit, just walking away. Tom could have evolved into something different, man. He could have turned into a natural asshole and shit.
I
Like, that
mean,
could have went to his
Might have
head.
been. He might have
I'm
been.
just saying, like there was more than that. There had to have been
And,
problems because, like
and not to
prior
mention,
to him playing football, because like she already had a new man, a couple months after the divorce.
how do
So
you think that shit's going to work? Like, she's supposed to stay single forever. You know how many motherfuckers was praying that happened?
I'm just saying.
I
I'm
mean,
just
you got
saying.
motherfuckers at the crib
So he
like,
had somebody the week after, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
it could have been the motherfucker that was praying. And then before I go, God, please let Tom and Giselle break up. Amen. Like, come on, bruh. Like, you know how it is. It's not designed for that. Women stay hotter but way longer than we do. Their value like plummets like the Jeep Wranglers. Come on, man. They hold 75% of their value. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm
Tom
just saying. Like if you met me and I was the best quarterback to ever walk this goddamn planet, you can't expect me to walk away when I don't want to walk away. Like that's just what it is. Like I made my name from slinging this pigskin, throwing touchdowns, and winning championships. Like how can that's my passion, that's my love. Like how can you hold that against me? How can you use that against me?
Right.
You know? But that's neither here nor there. I'm acting like we were cool with Tom and Giselle, and we knew all the, I'm just saying,
Right.
Well,
it is
I'm
what
just
it is.
saying how dope he is to me. Now, there's a flip side to that coin, Wax. There's a flip side to that coin, and I appreciate you saying that because, motherfucker, I'm Tom Brady. You gonna be like fucking in a minute. You gonna be like Hell Melvin without the blue notes.
Mm-hmm. You'll
You
never
never
go
go
platinum,
platinum.
right?
You will never go platinum. And watch what I do. Hello? Okay. As you're walking out the gates, let baby girl in. Baby girl will come here, young looking as fuck, body, click, click, bling, 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 bling. Like, you are replaceable too. You know what I mean? And that motherfucker gonna be whistling in the back, going back in the gate. You must not know about me. You must
Mm-hmm.
not know Tom B. You feel me? Like, on the flip side of that coin, I don't see Tom running around in the news doing some crazy shit. That motherfucker was like, thank God. Shit. I was sick of eating fucking cottage cheese every morning. Get the fuck. Are you kidding me? soon as that shit happened, he called up Gronk and shit got real out of hand. You did? Gronk, man, fuck that bitch, man. She tried to fuck me a little like. He was like, what? He was like, nah, I was saying, would you try to eat?
Real quick, I'm gonna change the subject. Let me ask both of y'all this real quick, and everybody at home. How do you guys feel about this whole Taylor Swift Kelsey ordeal? Like, why do they keep showing her on the screen? Why is she always at the games? And like the whole NFL is wrapped around her finger now. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
It's corny. It's super corny.
It is. It's superficial.
All right. It's like, especially the amount of times that they show her. It's like every time there's a 5-yard run, I'm like, Kelsey didn't even catch the ball here. I'm like, why are you showing her?
Here you go, dude. Chill.
I swear they got a camera just pointed at the damn owner's box, So every time anybody does something, they show her snapping out. I'm like, she's not even like
A
following the
part of
game half the
this.
time.
Yeah.
You know
She's
what I
on
mean?
her phone every time they show her.
And at the end of every game, they show a slow mo of her celebrating a play during the game. Like, but you know, it's marketing. You know what I mean? The NFL wants to get more. They want to get more women, and women like Taylor Swift. So they try. You know, it's all a marketing thing.
But don't they know that Taylor Swift ain't gonna be at every one of those damn games that's televised? Like it's gonna be the Jaguars and the fucking you know
Right.
what I mean? And us or some shit like that. Like Taylor ain't gonna be there. Like so.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Yeah, I
y'all
think
want to
you
get
missed
to
that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Wait.
My bad. I'm just going off of some bullshit. I'm about to say, y'all think he missed them brown buns he had?
Who? Kelsey?
Yeah,
Yes.
his
Probably.
old prime.
He probably don't miss her being in his pockets, but I'm sure he misses. He
mean,
misses something.
You might not be able to miss what you never gave up. That motherfucker might have been hankering and shit, talking about, man, oh man, I need some chocolate ass cream. That motherfucker got him a dish and shit, talking about, you say anything. I mean, did he turn Southern on her? You say anything. If you say anything about this.
Okay, all right, Kels. Yeah, like I said, it's marketing. They want to get both. The NFL's greedy. They want everybody. So
yes,
and they, you know what I mean. They want them all. So you know what I mean. They're gonna be some handicap people. They're gonna be showing famous handicap person. They try to get the handicap community. They try to get everybody.
Hell yeah, they got pets involved. Peter,
Right.
Look at her cat. Her cat has
right. The cat community is gonna be like, oh.
Look at the cat. It's gonna be totally just like we got off topic. That's how entertainment works, y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about what we want to see every time. It's about what sells. And as far as that's concerned, we do that because we all three of us have a smash of ADD. Me having the most. Thank you. Yeah, because I got about 98, 99 you know what I mean, little pieces of ADD in a box that I pop in my mouth every day. Like, I don't remember shit, but at the same time, I remember everything. I can hold down 17 conversations at once.
So, like, let's like moving on. Like, we can get to the. If you guys want to go to the grades, what do you grade the Steelers as a whole this year? A, B, C. And then we can go by the positions, and then we can probably wrap this thing up in a little bit.
We definitely need to grade them as by positions, man, because I don't feel like everybody should be getting the same credit.
I mean, they are one team, so like I would give the team itself a C plus.
Yeah,
just because they did make the playoffs, so I got to give them maybe even just a C.
Right.
Just because they look stupid all year. But what y'all think as far as the whole team? What would you give the team?
I'd probably give them a C minus, like just because, like, I don't know, it didn't feel like a good season, even though we had a winning record, but we just didn't play well as a whole team. Like it was either our offense was balling out or our defense was balling out, but we never had it all come together and dominate. We never dominated.
Right.
Well, he's gonna give him a C minus, Kels. His ass he's harsh. Dude. I'm giving him a B minus.
B minus.
Yep. A, because we're the fucking Steelers. That's why. That's first and foremost. You know what I mean? And as much as I fucking whine and cry and toss my terrible tags in a bag and put them in the backs of the closet to never be seen again, I pull them some bitches out every year.
All right. So B minus.
And to add to that, dude, we had a struggling season. We still prevailed, and there's so much more to come. So, like, with that, I want to piggyback, and hopefully we get a B,
all right,
mid-season.
So let's go the offense as a whole. What would you give their grade?
Shit. Now, that's where it hurts. I'm going to give them a C, and I'm an offensive-minded person, man. It hurts to even say that because I got to keep it funky, man.
I'm going.
We struggled in the run.
Right. Go ahead, Wax. What you think?
I'm going another C minus. Like they it took us what almost a whole another season to throw over 300 yards.
Correct.
Right.
What's his name that hadn't had a touchdown catch in 2 years? Like it was like. Let me ask y'all this: when was the last time y'all seen us go deep down the field? Like just try to launch it and throw a bomb on somebody. Like
What happened?
that's taken away from our game, man. Like, you know what I mean? I give him a C minus in my opinion. Like,
oh, bro,
I would probably give him. I'd probably give him a C minus too. I was going to say D, but they picked it up towards the end, so I got to give him the C minus.
you would have been right to say D.
Yeah, but
And
like,
Matt Canada
if those
in
last
there?
3 games didn't happen, they'd be getting a D minus, or you know what I mean.
That's it. Eater and add Matt Canada in the mix too for those first 8 games.
First 12, 13 games.
He takes away that he doesn't add to it
at
he
all.
takes away. So you would have been right to say D.
Okay, so defense. What would you give the defense as a grade?
Go ahead, Wax.
as a whole, our defense probably like a solid C. Like I'm trying not to like completely crap on them, but also we got to take into accountability that they perform, but then they started falling off at the end of the season. Like I mean, due to injuries and like everything else, you know what I mean. But I just give them a regular C. Like I want to say like a C plus, but that's the same goddamn thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a B, man.
B.
You give him a B?
Yep, because like we made the adjustments we needed to make. I mean, personnel wise, you can't help who you got in there when due to injury. But I feel like Watt made his presence felt every time he was on that field. I feel like Fitzpatrick gave his body up every time he was out there to the point where he injured himself. I feel like JPJR, he definitely came through. He had a lot growing pains, bruh.
Right.
He got a lot to work on, but at the same time, he held that shit down. I feel like Pat P, this could possibly be his last season. He went out like a general.
Right.
He played a position that he never played before. Well, probably in college and high school, like I said before, but he nailed that position as far as where he needed to be when he needed to be there. He was getting burnt, but it's to be expected when you're playing a different position.
Right.
Linebackers, they fucking held it down, man. Landon Roberts, big presence out there. He made himself felt. Our offensive or our defensive shout out to Highsmith.
Yeah.
All in all, I give him a B, man. Solid B.
I would give him
7.
I would give him a B minus. I give him a B minus because the beginning of the season they pretty much held us down with how bad our offense was.
Right.
So they kept us in the season at the beginning, especially the first 2/3 of the season. They really kept us there. So I give them a B minus. But then they started getting gashed. They started getting hurt, but that's still,
part of the game.
Part of it, right. So let's do these last ones real quick. I'll just, we'll just do the positions real quick and then we can get out of here. Quarterback. What you give our quarterbacks the grade?
1, 2, and 3. I give Kenny a C. I give Mason a C plus, and I give fucking Mitch a F for fuck out of here.
I'm with you on all of those. I probably agree with all of those.
I might even give. Yeah. I'd say the same. I'd say the same.
Well, while she typing it, what about the your favorite running back? Well, my favorite as well.
Running backs. As a whole, I would probably give them. I give them a B as a whole, and probably individually too. I probably give them both Bs. Okay. I mean, Najee Najee. I give him a B because he picked it up towards the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, would you say from mid-season to the end of the season, or just
pretty much?
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much around mid-season.
I'm giving Najee a C and I'm giving Warren a B. Like because like I again like Najee has been here for a couple years. So I mean he does run for 1,000 yards every year, which is
Yes.
not an easy feat. That's not easy to do.
Right.
Like I was kind of downplaying it a couple weeks ago at your house, Phil. But I mean, 1,000 yards is a good accomplishment. But
Right.
it just seems like he's not trying to run, man. Like he doesn't have the vision. He's not taking off as soon as he gets the ball. It's almost like he's running like Le'Veon Bell, but without the explosiveness. Like
Right.
And
you know
without
what I
the
mean?
line, without the
Well,
line
I
in.
mean, true, but Warren can scrape out 5-6 yards. Why can't he? You know what I'm saying? It's the same line. It's the
Yeah.
same line.
With Najee, what made me mad is it just seemed like he took pretty much half the season to realize that he's a strong running back, to use
Correct.
his strength to his advantage. It took him a while to get there because it was just for a while there he wasn't stiff arming nobody. He wasn't putting his head down and just getting those 3 extra yards that he can just from
Right.
having a head of steam. And it took him a while to get to that point, which
Well,
was frustrating to watch.
yeah. But the thing is, he's not a rookie. He's been doing this for a couple years. You
Right.
should have already been to this point to know, like, hey, I'm not the fastest on the field. I'm strong. I can use that to my advantage. And
Every
he didn't.
season the same way. My bad. I
Right.
mean, cut you off.
No, that's all good. But like it takes him too long to realize what his strengths and weaknesses are. So that's like
Right.
I'm penalizing him because of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give him a C.
To his giving it not an excuse, but Matt Canada was running him in the 8-man fronts.
Yeah, true. True.
So it's like it's hard to do that when you got a dumb offensive coordinator that doesn't know how to scheme you to get yards. You know what I mean? He just run. You see an 8-man front, and he still says, "Go ahead and run it." Like that's just dumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rate him in 2 ways. I'm gonna give Najee a B, and I'm gonna give Warren a B plus. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna give them both B's.
Okay.
Why? Because of what y'all said, it took too long, and then you know what Najee had to deal with as far as that offensive coordinator. I understand that, but then Wax had a fantastic point. But Warren had the same oppositions to go against, and he
Right.
still was able to prevail.
Right.
That's why I give Warren that B plus. But here's where I even them out because I have to not be non-biased. I have to, and this has nothing to do with Najee being my favorite running back on this team, opposed to Warren being a guy who I never seen that shit coming from, and he was able to do it. But I say that to say this: Warren, he was his own worst enemy. He started fumbling towards the end. That takes a lot away because that's your main objective. Hold on to that ball. That's what they
Right.
tell you before you do anything. Because without the ball, you're just running.
Can't do shit.
This isn't track. You have to have that ball in order to prove your point that you're a nullified running back. And that's just what it's going to be. It's going to be one of those things that, like, I got to show you who runs this motherfucking offense. And it's me.
Right.
Najee started doing that towards the end of the season. Now, what makes Najee even out with Warren is that this is his 3rd time in a row getting 1,000 yards. And you did downplay it a little bit, Wax, but it wasn't at the expense of saying he didn't earn that because he did. You gave it to him, but it's like, okay, whoop-de-doo, Basil. You get 1,000 yards and do nothing with it, and those were scattered 1,000 yards.
Yeah, they were.
It wasn't like he got 100, 100, 100. He got 100
Yeah.
here, 68 here, like that. It all adds up at the end of the day. But like, damn, my brother, you might have got that bitch by like 1,033 yards. Like that ain't to be 1,000-yard rusher. You get up and
Yeah.
a little 12, a little 15, or go Terrell Davis on their ass and shit. Let me get 2 of them bitches real quick.
Right.
But I'm gonna give them. It all evens out to be 2 solid B's, man. And these are like 87, 88%, man. Because like with the under circumstances, they did the best with what they had.
Right. So like, let's go to the wide receivers. Well, I'll start it out. I'd probably give the wide receivers a C. You know what I mean? Like, because in certain circumstances they look real good, but in a lot of circumstances they they didn't produce, and then they whined and cried a couple of times. They quit on plays a few times. Might even be a C minus.
Damn, you damn cancers, boy. Y'all's hard to please. I want cherry from the top.
I totally agree with him. Like, because like I said, they didn't really produce like they should have. You know what I mean? Oh boy, it took him 2 years to score. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's insane. Like, that's the worst I've ever seen anybody. Like, the worst slump I've ever seen a receiver in. Like, in my fucking life, man. Like,
and they're not trash. That's what makes it so frustrating. Is they're talented. They get, like, talent wise, I'd give them damn near A, both of them. Yeah. But as far as like production wise, and a lot of that has to do with, you know, I always bring it to Canada and Trubisky
and play calling
and play. You know what I mean? Canada, Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett to a certain extent, because you see when Mason was out there, they actually was getting yards and getting production, both of them. So a lot of that is, you know, connected to that. So I like I said, I still want to see this team with a good offensive coordinator, with a real solid offensive coordinator that's smart and knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But we can move on to last part of the, we'll say.
Hold on. Before we even move on, I want to say a big fucking shout out to the boy Bosborn, boy. Boswell, if you out there, if you listening, motherfucker, you did your shit, young man. Right. You are the best kicker, in my opinion, that I've seen in a long time. And I'm talking about 20 years, bro.
He's solid.
To be as solid, like, you've kept us in games to where you won us games.
Yeah.
You, my friend, get an A+. I'm gonna say that shit. He gets an A+.
I give you that. All right, let's go to the offensive line. What y'all give the offensive line?
I gotta give him a D. There was no explosion, man. There was no surge, man. I can't do that. I can't grade all of these running backs and receivers and quarterbacks without making an internal front take the bulk of the, you know, that y'all know it. Y'all's where it starts. The line is where the shit. That's where the game is played at. Right. In the trenches. Am I wrong? Tell me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying.
You already know how I feel.
The game is won in the trenches, dude. That line that we had, I give them a D, with the exception of the tight ends.
See, me, I would probably give them a C. Honestly, I might even give them a C+. Because they had 2,000-yard rushers. A lot of those sacks that they gave up was on Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky, both of them just rolling out, being scared. So I might give them a C+. Like I said, they produced 2,000-yard rushers, so they wasn't too shabby.
I'd probably give them a C-. I'd give them a C-, because like it took a minute for us to get everybody in place to where they, you know, where we could be productive as an offensive line, which ain't really their fault, but like it just didn't feel right. And you're right about Kenny Pickett always rolling out the pocket too soon, and Trubisky also, because Mason, even though he was slinging the rock, like you could tell the line was about to collapse on him, but he still stayed in the pocket and was whipping that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to be able to stay in there.
Exactly.
That line collapses. Exactly. Too many roaming free motherfuckers, dude.
But listen, sometimes if you watch some tapes, man, sometimes Kenny Pickett had a nice pocket. If you just roll out, you got to climb into the pocket. They call it climbing the pocket. You got to climb in there and get in that little pocket.
Right.
But Kenny would roll out to the left, always to the left, and like that's where you got your best. That's where most teams put their best edge rusher is on the left. So he roll out over there every time,
right,
and get sacked. And then you see what happens. And then he gets hurt all the time. But
I beg to differ, man, because there was too many opportunities.
I mean, I'm with you. They definitely didn't. They wasn't the best. Okay, so we'll run through the defense real quick. What do you give the DBs?
I'll give them a B, solid B, just for productivity, for what they did out there. As far as like, there was a lot of times where they came up, with the football in crucial situations,
Right.
And the adjustments that they made back there, and the
Right.
way Patrick Peterson was able to slide into, a safety position and own it.
I agree with you. I probably give them maybe a B minus, but definitely in
Why
the
a B minus?
Because like there was a few times where I just JPJ's penalties and they had a couple costly penalties for us along the way. So
I would give them a B minus because it seemed like they would watch the deep cover. They'd have over the top covered, but someone was always butt ass naked on like the little short routes. And they would catch the rock, scramble for a first down on third down all the goddamn time. We could never just 3 and out them. Right. You know what I mean? It was always a struggle. And then like the closer they got to the red zone, the tighter we started getting, which would like either prove costly, like they would score on us, or we would like hold them to a field goal. But I give them a B minus. I think like plus we had a rookie back there with JPJ. Right. Doing his goddamn thing. Patrick Peterson, they switched his position to a safety, which, he hasn't really played, and he held it down a little bit. You know what I mean? So I give him a B minus. Right.
All right, moving forward, let's go to the linebacker core as a whole.
It's hard to grade them, dude, because like there was a few injuries that was like
there was a lot of injuries. We was down to our bare bones, and
that's what I mean. So how can you assess something that never had a chance?
I mean, you got to assess the guys that came in for him, like as a whole, from a whole season. Like for me, linebacker, I'd probably give them because TJ Watt is a fucking A as far as linebackers. And Highsmith was probably an A minus. Okay, but then when you get to the middle of the field, they were like they started out pretty decent, but then the injuries hit, and then they didn't have any replacements for them, and they was like a damn D. So all in all, I guess it was C plus, counting Watt and Highsmith.
I give him a B.
Okay.
I give him a B. We got the number one sack leader on our team by miles.
Right.
And Highsmith, he didn't do too shabby as far as, their pursuits are different. Who's to say he don't have outside containing all that extra shit. The way they pressure is completely different.
I think Highsmith might have led the league in quarterback hurries.
And that's a big deal. Like in order to rush a quarterback who wants to sit back and set up, that plan is done. Because like if you want to do that, prepare to get that ball knocked out your hands. Right. So I'm gonna give him a B.
All right. What you think, Wax?
Probably a B. I'm going with Phil on that one. I'm going to give him a B because, like, you called it earlier this season. Y'all both did. They were like the best 1-2 tandem, in the NFL. Like, both two different sides. They was both beaten in the backfield most of the time. Right. Whether it was a sack or a hurry up, they produced, in my opinion. TJ Watt getting hurt a couple times, like that. It's part of the game, but like you can't blame me for that. But I give him a B.
He sacrificed his body.
Right. Okay. So defensive line, and then.
In my opinion, they get a C. They were disruptive a little bit, but a lot of the time watching them, they was getting blown off the ball.
Yeah, Cam was hurt.
Yeah.
I agree with Wax.
Yeah, I agree with Wax too. I think that the standout on the defensive line is the rookie Keanu Benton. I think Keanu Benton is going to be he's a nice pickup. I think he's going to be the stalwart in the middle for the next 10 years. Honestly, I think they're going. He's that good to me.
They're going to keep him around that long, Louis?
I think so. I mean, he'll probably get. His first deal will be 4 years, of course, with the rookie deal. And then they'll give him another deal. I think they're going to give him another deal, and that'll keep him here for 10 years.
Sometimes we get outbid like that Carnell Lake deal.
Yeah, but when they're a rookie, you get the, you don't let them get to free agency. You sign them before they even have a chance at the open market.
I'm just saying, man. Carnell, man, we didn't want to match it.
Yeah, that was the 90s and shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Them motherfuckers can get finicky and shit. Talking about what? You want what? Okay.
Because Cam's gonna be gone, and they don't have anybody to replace Cam. So, and Cam, speaking of Cam, and we can finish that little segment up, but Cam, what would you do with Cam? He's making $22 million this year.
Shit. I almost want to say, let him do what he needs to do to retire and all that. But
right. This is last year. It's the last year on his deal. He's making 22. I would probably, because they're not going to ask him for a pay cut, but they'll probably restructure his deal.
Right.
Probably spread it out throughout the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But that still counts on against our salary cap for the next 4 or 5 years instead of just this 22 this year.
Right. In order for your plan to take shape with Keanu, he came around another couple of years in order for him to pass the torch. So I'm keeping him. He's the only, ain't he the last piece of that old regime?
Pretty much. Yep.
So, you need that. You have to have that.
He
I always say, those OGs are necessary.
He brings more off the field than not than he does on the field, but he brings just as much off the field that he brings on the field. So you're right.
I think he deserves to, like, they deserve to. I think that they should keep him, but in my opinion, I probably would let him go. Like, that's a lot of money for somebody who hasn't been active all year. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a tough decision.
Like business wise, it probably would be smart to let him go.
Yeah, like, but that's a lot of money for somebody who plays hurt every game. I mean, like, but I fuck with him. I like Cam. I think, like, he was like the spearhead of our defense. You know what I mean? He was the leader for a while.
I feel bad for him that he never really got a chance to, like, do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, get a deep run in the playoffs. Like, that's what pisses me off, because like, he never really got a chance to. And TJ's running around that same route, that same trajectory. If we don't get our shit together, he's gonna be another one that never won a playoff game.
But bro,
that's terrible. Let me run through real quick. Let me run through the upcoming free agents and just a yes or no if you would keep them. Mason Rudolph.
No.
If I can get somebody better, yes, but I'm gonna keep him if I don't know the uncertainty.
All right. Quan Alexander coming off the ACL. 30 years old. But as far as Mason, I probably would try to keep him. But Quan Alexander, inside linebacker.
I don't know. I'm gonna give ACL. I'm gonna trade him.
Well, he's a free agent, so you either.
I'll let him. I won't renegotiate the contract.
Right. What you think, Wax?
I'd let him go. Like, coming off an ACL, and he's 30. I mean, he's dope though, but like,
he did. He had a good season at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. Levi Wallace, cornerback. I'm letting him fly away fast as he can.
He got toasted a couple times, but
he did. We can't hear you, Illy.
Yeah, he's let him do his goddamn thing somewhere else. Like,
right.
He'll probably go to the Jaguars or somebody in the AFC.
Right. All right. Well, we'll move on until Illy comes back. I said Philly, but I'm thinking. See, the rest of them are it's like Marcus Golden, edge rusher. I probably would keep him.
I don't even know any of his work.
He was the backup. He was out there for TJ last game, but
okay,
he's a thumper.
Yeah.
He's a thumper, but as far as he's not TJ.
Right.
That's about it. Miles Jack. I mean, you can give or take Miles Jack.
Yeah, because I mean, we did pull him out the practice squad, or no. Better yet, he was at home, wasn't he?
The crib. We were like, Miles.
Yeah, Miles. Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
Eric Rowe. I
yeah,
agree. I think we should keep Eric Rowe.
yeah, for sure. Eric Rowe produced.
Right. Golden is he's nice for the right price. What up, Nuts?
Excuse me.
I don't know what happened to Ellie. But I mean, I want to get him back on before we wrap it up.
Right.
But as far as that, like, yeah, as far as the free agents, man, you know, that's it. I don't know what we're looking like. I mean, there's Miles Killebrew. He's gonna be a free agent. I guess I would keep him.
I would too. He was all right. He was all right. He didn't like cost us no shit. Like, you know what I mean? Mess up real bad or
Right.
Plus, I'm sure he ain't too expensive. I mean, you know.
Special team guy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Ellie, I guess he can't get back on. So we've been on here an hour and a half. So we probably gotta wrap this. We probably need to wrap this thing up anyway, man. But shout out to everybody that was in the chat. That was, you know what I mean, that was showing some love out here, man. Shout out Kelly. Shout out Nutso.
Shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark, man. Anybody else that's out there that's paying attention to us, man, check us out. We didn't even do coaching. I wanted to wait till Illy got here to do coaching, but
yeah.
But y'all stay tuned. We got something on that anyway. We're gonna bring the coaching thing.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin and the coaching staff gonna get their own show.
Hell yeah. So stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I mean? Appreciate every one of y'all, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep turning us up, man, for real, so we can turn up.
Right. And like Illy say, well, how do you say it? Same time, same channel, or new delivery.
Peace. Yeah. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.